Now, for a better understanding about what may lie ahead for France in the crucial presidential election, our correspondent Ross Cullen is now joining us live from Paris. Ross, thanks for joining us. My first question to you, as we've been telling our viewers, Le Pen seems to have accused the incumbent President Macron of being outdated when it comes to his policies and his policies, rather. What do you feel about the same, and what do the people of France think at this point about the incumbent president?
Hi Priyanka. Well, the incumbent president is leading in the polls at the moment, around 53-47. Some polls showing 55-45 split in favour of Emmanuel Macron when it comes to that second round runoff. Both he and Marine Le Pen are now focused on Sunday, April the 24th, as their date with destiny for a historic choice. Either one of them will become, in Emmanuel Macron's case, the first French president to be re-elected for 20 years, or if Marine Le Pen wins the presidency, well, she will become the first woman president of France. So both of them focusing now on that campaign, that second round campaign, which has about 10 days to run. They are trying to show that they are the choice for the people who did not vote for them in the first round, people who didn't vote for Macron or Le Pen, as you've mentioned in the introduction, those other voters, trying to capture them for either Emmanuel Macron or Marine Le Pen, showing that they can broaden out their rhetoric from right-wing nationalism in terms of Marine Le Pen, or centrism, radical pro-Europeanism in terms of Emmanuel Macron. Marine Le Pen has said that he represents the incumbent president. He is a former banker. He represents the system. He represents political power in the fact that it is outdated. His policies haven't worked. He is somebody who needs to be replaced by the fresh breath of populist nationalism, that brand of right-wing politics that Marine Le Pen is offering. She is, though, trying to open up her big tent of politics to left-wing voters, people who voted for Jean-Luc Mélenchon, the far-left populist, in the first round, saying that she can welcome left-wing voters to create a barrier to Emmanuel Macron, to block the incumbent president from being re-elected. He has said that he wants to create a barrier of his own to block Marine Le Pen's right-wing politics from being elected to the presidency.
Absolutely. Ross, now you mentioned a very interesting fact, the rise of nationalism, right-wing politics, which will play a crucial role in the campaigning strategies. We've also seen another element come to fore, the fact that pension reform needs to be, in a way, brought to light. That is something both the leaders, both the candidates have campaigned on. Another fact, Macron had earlier accused Le Pen of wanting to leave the European Union, sort of following the UK strategy. What are the concerns as of now regarding that?
Just on the idea of Frexit, Priyanka, as it's being called after Brexit was used for the term for the United Kingdom voting to leave the European Union. Marine Le Pen previously advocated for that policy, also for France to leave the single currency. She has now distanced herself from both of those, saying that she no longer wants to reintroduce the French franc in place of the euro. She no longer wants France to leave the European Union, but instead she wants to reform the European Union from within, turning it into something that she describes more like a European alliance of like-minded nations. Macron, for his part, is vehemently pro-European, very in favour of the European Union becoming even stronger and trying to develop its own defence policy, its own geopolitical policy, standing on its own 2 feet in terms of its dependence and supply chains as well, European products for consumption inside Europe. On pension reform as well, that is something that Emmanuel Macron tried to bring in during his first 5 years in power, unsuccessfully. We did see major demonstrations on the streets of Paris, Marseille, Lyon, all the big cities in France against his reforms, against his desired restructuring of the pension system. He says, though, the idea is not dead. He wants to revitalise that policy and try to pass it if he were to be re-elected for a second term in office. He wants the pension age to be raised from 62 to 65. He has hinted he could perhaps be willing to compromise from 62 to 64. Marine Le Pen wants it not to be raised and in fact to be lowered if anyone started work before the age of 20. So differing policies on pension reform, which is likely to be one of the major policies for Emmanuel Macron if he is re-elected on the 24th of April.
Right, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much, Ross, for all those insights. Thanks for joining us on WION. We, of course, will be tracking the polls closely. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.